Happy Monday, Golden Divas. I hope all is well with you. I wanted to share with you a little bit about what happened on today 5 years ago. On June the 15th, 2019, I got a call that my biopsy came back that it was positive for breast cancer. And at the time when I got the diagnosis, I was in total shock. It took me a minute to actually process the news because, again, I was just in total shock. And immediately when you find out that you have a cancer diagnosis, they immediately want to rush you into chemotherapy. And we had a trip planned to Jamaica, so I went on our family trip that we had to Jamaica. And during that time, I just got peace about not starting chemo so soon because I found out on a Friday. We left that Monday for our vacation, and they wanted me to start chemo the following Tuesday after I returned. But something in my spirit just wouldn't allow me to move forward with it at that time. And so I was scheduled to have my port installed that Monday, I believe. And something, my intuition just kept telling me, no, cancel that appointment. And so I followed it, and I did. I called and I canceled the appointment. And they sent notification to my oncologist to notify my oncologist that that I had canceled the port install. And so she wanted to follow up with me to find out why I canceled the appointment. And I told her it was just something in my intuition just told me to cancel the appointment. Mainly, I canceled because I saw the devastating effects that chemo had on my dad. I was my dad's caregiver when he was going through cancer, and I would take him and drop him off for chemo treatments in the morning. And when I would get back to pick him up, he was just totally lifeless. And he would be okay. He'd get okay maybe about 4 days after treatment. And then a few days later, he would have a few days to recover, and then he was back in the chemo chair again. So that sort of set up fear in me that really, really made me afraid to really go through chemo. And so my oncologist, when I told her about the story, she said, okay, well, I can understand. She said, since you need some time, she said, what I'm going to do is go ahead and approve your surgery, and then you can do chemo afterwards. Well, I did not have my surgery until 2 months later. I had my surgery on today, August the 26th. And when my pathology report came back, it was discovered that they had misdiagnosed me. They diagnosed me with triple negative breast cancer, and it was not triple negative breast cancer. It was actually HER2. And so that changed my treatment protocol from 16 chemotherapy treatments all the way down to 6 chemotherapy treatments. Even though I was diagnosed with HER2, even with HER2, you still have to go through an additional 12 immunotherapy treatments, which are really a walk in the park compared to chemo. So I had to do an additional 12 treatments. I could only do 5 chemo treatments because chemo was so tough on my system. I had lost so much weight. I'd lost about 50 pounds, and I was so thin and frail that my doctor went ahead and said, okay, we'll just go ahead and stop treatments. So I'm thankful that she did. So I went through the 12 treatments. So I was officially done with all of my treatments in November 2020. So I consider today's date, August the 26th, my anniversary of being cancer free. And as I sat this morning during my meditation and my journaling time, I just kind of took a moment and evaluated where I am right now and the journey that I have been on to recovery and survivorship. And I started thinking about all the things that I've lost. I didn't do a double mastectomy. I did I only had my left breast removed, but I had to go through, I had to wait 2 years before I actually had reconstructive surgery. Now, the reason why I had to wait is because I just didn't have enough fat on my body to be able to, in order for the surgeon to be able to form a breast. So I had to gain a lot of weight in order for the surgery to be approved. So it was approved, and I went through, I had the surgery done in February 2022. So I'm 2 years out, 2 years and a few months out from reconstructive surgery. And so I was sitting this morning in my meditation, and when you are a survivor, you think about all the things that you've been through. And I started thinking to myself, I've lost my hair. My hair has never grown back the way it did before breast cancer. I was told before I went through chemo that chances were I would lose my teeth. Well, I'm starting to experience that as well. And I lost a breast. So even with all of the losses, I still have to give thanks that I'm still here. It's not always easy. But I'm thankful that I was able to see my grandbaby be born. I'm thankful that I still have a husband who loves me, who's been a champion through it all. I met so many women on this journey who lost their marriages after they was diagnosed. But my husband was a champ through it all. So when I tell you my husband has been through the trenches with me, he has been through the trenches with me. So I had to just throw my hands up and give God thanks that even though I've made a lot of losses and I've lost a lot of things, I even lost my business, but I had to say, God, I thank you that I'm still here. I lost my friend Stephanie. Everybody knows Stephanie Reed. Stephanie was diagnosed a year before I was, and I was diagnosed a year after her. But I lost my friend. I lost 4 friends to breast cancer. And one of my friends who I used to work with years ago, she found out we reconnected after being separated for about 20-something years. And right after we reconnected, 6 months later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. 6 months after I was diagnosed, she was diagnosed. But unfortunately, she's no longer here. Out of all of the losses that I've lost in my life, I have to give God thanks each and every day. Because when I tell you survivorship of what we go through as cancer survivors, it's a lot. It's a lot mentally, it's a lot emotionally, and it's a lot physically. And many times, sometimes, I remember before my diagnosis, I would not allow myself to even take a break a lot of times. But now, when I feel it in my body, and I feel the pains, the aches and the pains in my body, I just allow myself to rest. And I know that that's okay. For a long time, I took care of everybody and put myself on the back burner, and that was the wrong thing to do. So now I follow my intuitive guidance. If I feel that I need to rest and not do anything, that's exactly what I do. I sit down and I just rest. I don't do anything. So on this anniversary day for me being cancer free, I've made it 5 years, because they say that reoccurrence can occur most likely within the first 5 years, but that's not always necessarily true. I've seen it come back years and years later. But I don't even keep my mind. I don't even think about it. I do have a lot of scares. I do have skin anxiety. Every time I have to go for my mammogram, I have skin anxiety. And everything that I go through with my body, I'm always wondering, did the cancer return? But with that being said, I'm truly thankful for still being here. It has not been easy, and it's still not easy, but I'm still thankful that I wake up every day and I give God thanks for allowing me to still be here. And I'm so thankful for all of you ladies for allowing me to share and be vulnerable with you here in this group. I don't share a lot of my business. As a matter of fact, I've stopped posting stuff on social media. I would never share any of my personal stuff, but I've even stopped sharing things on social media because I'm at a point in my life right now where the world doesn't need to know. Only those who are closest to me will know these intimate parts of me. So ladies, I want to thank you so much for listening. And I want to send you so much peace and love today. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable and to share this day with you. I love you all. Until the next time, peace and love.